Describe where you came from and how you grew up.
So I grew up in Yakima, Washington. It's a little place really close to Ellensburg. And I grew up in my mom, single mom, with one little sister. And
what kind of responsibilities came with that, and how do you think it affected your outlook on life?
Growing up with a single mom and having my little sister definitely had an impact on who I became. Really helped me mature at a young age. After my mom and my stepdad divorced, it really impacted how I thought about my sister and how I wanted her to grow up, making sure that she had a strong foundation.
How do you feel race and ethnicity has affected you in your life?
It's definitely had a big impact in my life because, for one, people are always going to judge you on your skin color, no matter how much things have changed. They're always going to judge you on who you are, and so definitely at a young age I was aware of the fact that I was African American.
What do you think your parents did for you to enable you to deal with the challenges of racial differences?
Well, I didn't actually know my dad till I was 18, so the main person that was there for me was my mom. And she obviously told me from a young age, she always wanted me to know who I was and wanted me to know who I was going to be. She never wanted me to have a loss of identity. She wanted me to know who I am.
Can you recall a moment when you knew you were Black?
Yeah, definitely. In middle school, it's kind of those moments when your peers look at you and they're kind of like, you're a little different than everybody else. And where I went to middle school, not to be racist or anything, but it was completely Mexicans and Native Americans, and so I definitely stood out like a sore thumb. And my friends just kind of, you see things on TV, and like as a teenager, you just start to realize like this person is this and this person is this, and so my friends all started to look at me as I was the Black kid in class.
Did you feel isolated or different, or?
I'd say there was moments that I definitely felt like I was missing something in my life, but I've always had a good surrounding of friends that were supportive of who I am.
How do you feel about being Black?
Honestly, I love being Black. I love the culture. I love the brotherhood, the sisterhood. I mean, I love everything about it.
What does your race mean to you?
Race means everything to me. I mean, I'm not only Black. I'm white. I'm German. I'm Native, but I definitely connect the most to my African American descent because it's just there's such a strong background, such a strong foundation.
How have your own personal attitudes been shaped by myths and stereotypes? And what have you personally done to confront these in your life?
Oh, stereotypes are definitely a touchy topic, but I mean, personally, I try to stay away from the typical Black male stereotypes of being disrespectful, of being gangster, being all that. I try to be an individual and try to just be who I am personally, not who people look at me as.
What personal experiences, role models, or lack thereof, have molded your worldview and attitude and/or personality?
I'd say personal experiences just, most people don't realize because most people just don't really realize at all that as a Black person, you're looked at all the time as, I don't even know how to describe it, but you're looked at differently, and so you constantly are aware of that fact, and it's hard to overcome that, but I mean, you have to become who you are as an individual.
What's the most valuable lesson you've learned, and why?
Most valuable lesson I've learned, I'd say just to be yourself, because people are gonna, once somebody gets to know you, they're gonna know you for who you are, and so being yourself allows you to create that whole new identity for yourself. Not being black, not being white, whatever race you are, it allows you to be you.
What would you say your most painful experience has been?
Honestly, not having my dad in my life for the first 14 years, or not first 14 years, but 14 years of my life that my dad wasn't in my life. You grow up with this identity that you're black, but you only have your white mom, and so it definitely is a rough experience.
I think growing up without a dad required Darian, as he said, to grow up at a younger age and become the role model that he wanted to be for his little sister, and help shape how she saw men in her life. Without having a father in his life, Darian was trying to learn how to grow up and be a black man without actually having that father figure in his life, and just having his single white mom, as he said. Also, growing up and in school where he was the minority and pretty much the only one, he was already confronted with racial stigmas and stereotypes that he expressed of always being looked at and being the only one, and he constantly tried to fight that and stay as far away as he could and just be himself and not play into these roles that black men are dangerous or scary or could do you wrong. After talking with Darian, he kind of told me a lot about what his mom did for him and working to socialize him in school and at a young age, and accepting that he was black and being true to that side of his culture and trying to strengthen his black identity.